Good afternoon, Storm fans. Welcome to the last regular season home game. Last regular season game as next week starts wildcard play. I'm your voice, Hünstetten Storm, James Passo, bringing you the action live here from Hünstetten as the Hünstetten Storm welcoming the Untouchables of Paderborn for Game 2 of this two-game weekend series. As Storm is having their warm-up tosses, I'll give you the lineup and defensive positioning. Starting off with the batting order for the Untouchables. Batting leadoff, Emilio Goetz. Will be followed by Shota Azui. Batting third, Finn Bergman. Batting cleanup is Christian Byers. Batting fifth, Luca Rommelmann. Followed by Jules Moser, Benito Bull, Jan Mika Zischerhorn, and batting ninth is Baron Reinhardt. Defensively for your Hünstetten Storm, starting pitcher is Brian Perez. His battery mate this afternoon will be Daniel Martins. Danny Martins usually our starting second baseman. He'll be taking over behind the dish today as Douglas Yoakum has DH duties. But around the horn, starting at first base, Tobias Glimmerud. Second base, Phil Meyer. Shortstop, Augustine Teixeira. Perez, long look in. It's just down outside, ball one. It's a bit of a different look defensively for Storm as we haven't had a different catcher too often. Next pitch is in. Oh, call a late strike called by home plate umpire. For the last few games, we did have a different catcher behind the dish for us as Douglas Yoakum was treating a bit of an injury. A bunt, fielded cleanly by Perez, throws over and gets the speedy Shota Azui for out number two. Perfectly played by the pitcher and a great grab by Tobias Glimmerud at first base. Yesterday, Douglas Yoakum was our starting catcher, but today manager Bill Dickman decided to go for a little different lineup, giving Danny Martins a chance to behind the dish. So with 2 outs, brings up number 13, Finn Bergman, the starting third baseman for the Untouchables. First pitch is down for ball one. I want to welcome all of you paying us a nice service by tuning in live on Storm TV on YouTube. Welcome. Chat is open if you'd like to say hi. High pop-up and playable for Tobias Glimmerud at first base. Makes the catch for a 1-2-3 inning. Great start for Storm and great start by Brian Perez, our starting pitcher. Very quick top of the first inning. We're going now into the middle of the first, still scoreless. Coming into the bottom of the first inning, batting order for your Hünstetten STORM. Batting leadoff is Diego Mendoza. He'll be followed by Jake McKenzie, batting second. Batting third is Augustine Teixeira. Batting cleanup is Daniel Martins. Batting fifth, Justin Olish. He'll be followed by Douglas Jochum, Tobias Glimmerud, Phil Meyer, and batting ninth is Oliver Jochum. Defensively for the Untouchables of Paderborn, starting pitcher is Marco de Grioman. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. I'll have to get pronunciation later. My apologies. His battery mate, same as yesterday, is number 4, Jan Mika Sicherhorn. First base, Jules Moser. Second base, Christian Byers. Third base, Finn Bergman. Shortstop, Shoto Razui. Left field, Baron Reinhardt. Center field, Emilio Goetz. And right field is Luca Rommelman. The Grioma is set, has his pitch, and the first pitch catches it right across the plate for a called strike against Diego Mendoza. Good pitch from the Paderborn pitcher. Nice movement there at the end. Sicherhorn just set up directly in the middle of the plate. Oh, nice single by Diego Mendoza. That pitch took a home field bounce right at the first baseman, who was unable to field it cleanly for a leadoff single. And with that leadoff single brings up our starting third baseman, number 2, Jake McKenzie. It's a beautiful afternoon, beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Hünstetten. Temperatures are a little bit nicer than they were yesterday. Still quite warm, but it is baseball weather. Bunt shown. Unfortunately, the bunt goes in foul territory, so Diego will have to trot back to first base. Today's the first day of summer, so welcome summer, everybody. And find it very appropriate, the boys of summer are playing in their last regular season home game. Next week starts wild card playoff. Hünstetten is sitting nicely in 5th place. They'd like to take a win here to cause a little bit of changes in some of the playoff scheduling. Once we have the game schedule, we'll let you know. Hopefully we'll have that before the end of the game. McKenzie is quickly in the hole, 0-2, as that last pitch was a called strike. Outside, ball 1. DeGuglielmo tried to get McKenzie to swing at a pitch that was outside of the zone, but McKenzie was definitely not going to do that. As I welcome all of you who are tuning in live on Storm TV, live on YouTube. Hit and run is on, and it'll be a double play, as the hit and run didn't go the way Storm wanted. The ball just floated long enough to be caught by the second baseman, who easily threw over to first to complete the double play. Unfortunate for Storm, but with 2 outs, brings up our shortstop, Augustine Teixeira. Currently, Teixeira is number 3 in the batting average here in the DBL. If I remember correctly, he's batting a cool .375 for the season. First pitch in there for a called strike. And the sun has come from behind the clouds. That'll sure to warm things up a bit more. Sticks his bat out there and drops a 2-out single. Actually, no, ball gets away from the center fielder. He's going for 3. And Teixeira will make it with a stand-up triple. Stand-up, two-out triple for Augustine Teixeira. You gotta love it. So with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs, brings up our starting catcher for the afternoon, Daniel Martins. Danny had to quickly go take off his shin guards as the starting catcher with 2 outs. It's typical that they will keep the shin guards on to the last possible moment just in case they don't have to bat, but he has an opportunity now to time called by the catcher, according to home plate umpire. No, play is resumed. DiGirolamo is set. Danny's not able to hold up on that swing. Looked like he tried to, but he knew he just couldn't pull the bat back in time. One and one is the count as the next pitch goes into the left-handed batter's box. Ooh, close pitch. Didn't go the way of the Untouchables. 2 balls, 1 strike. Zischerhorn tried to frame that. Did a good job at framing, but the umpire said no, it was just outside his zone. Good pitch. I will say that was a good pitch. Danny was smart not to swing. But he unfortunately could not connect on that swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at third base. Danny gets on base. Justin Olish is on deck. Outside, ball 3. Full count now for Daniel Martins. And after throwing that pitch further outside than what he was actually going for, DiGirolamo is taking a little walk around the mound to resettle himself. Now the right-hander is taking his position on the far third base side of the rubber. Fouled back, keeps the at-bat alive for Martins. We have a nice little battle going on here. Catcher set up down the middle. And Danny Martins with a fly ball out of play, foul down the first base line. Home plate umpire threw a ball back. Unfortunately, the pitcher, DiGirolamo, just completely missed it with his glove. Batter has reset. Pitcher is getting a sign and has come set. Danny with a chopper to short, fielded, fired, gloved for out number 3. Unfortunate for Storm. Couldn't capitalize on the 2-out triple. But going into the top of the second inning, still scoreless here in Hünstetten. Going into the top of the second inning, still scoreless here in Hünstetten. It will be Christian Byers, Luca Rammelman, and Jules Moser. I'm sure I'm pronouncing some of these names wrong, but my apologies. For Paderborn, Brian Perez is getting his warm-up tosses in. Danny Martins is back in his catching gear after having to take everything off before he had his at-bat. Can't really bat with your catcher's gear on, though. Not a lot of difference between shin guards and shin protectors that batters usually wear. Case in point, Christian Byers walking up into the right-handed batter's box, and he has a shin guard on his left foot. And it just goes up to the shin, doesn't cover the knee, like a catcher's shin guard does. And Perez's first pitch of the second inning is in there. Beautiful called strike one. And it's also a beautiful day here in our area of Germany, here in Hünstetten. Sun is dancing with the clouds on the fields. Next pitch, great pitch, called strike two. On top of the clouds dancing across the fields, I can actually look over to my right. Unfortunately, we can't pan a camera to it and see the Taunus Mountains here in our area of Germany, looking very nice. Third pitch is just under the glove of a diving Jake McKenzie at third base for a leadoff double, as the speedy Byers did not stop at first base on that liner to left. The throw comes in just a little bit late as Byers was sliding. So after that leadoff double comes up number two, the right fielder, Luca Rammelman. Perez with a long look in to his battering mate. Bunt is shown. Bunt is made, and it lands in no man's land. So it's runners at the corners with no outs here to start the second inning. Good attempt by Perez to get the ball, but he's definitely not tall enough to make that catch. I'm not even sure if Tobias Glimmerud could have actually jumped off the mound and got that bunt as high as it bounced. Runners at the corners, no outs, brings up the first baseman, number 16, Jules Moser. Swing and a miss, strike one. Good pitch by Perez. On deck is Benito Bull, the designated hitter for the Untouchables. Runner's not taking much of a lead. Pitch outside, ball one. Perez's 1-1 pitch just a bit outside. Danny Martins had a thought to throw down behind the runner at first, who was able to get back quickly. Unfortunately, it was just a bit outside, ball two. Swing and a miss, strike two. Good seeing other people coming out to the ballpark already. There's more families making their way to Dickman Field here on a warm Sunday afternoon. Runner going. It is a hit and run. Fielder's choice brings the runner home from third. Out at first. First out of the inning recorded. Runner moves to second as he was running before Perez even threw the pitch. So with 1 run in, 1 out recorded, runner at second, Benito Bull is in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch swinging foul back to the backstop, strike 1. I would like to say happy Father's Day to all of those dads that are tuning in live from the United States. It is Father's Day in the U.S. I'd like to say happy Father's Day to my own father. Chopper, foul, just foul. Ooh. Glimmerud playing off of first base, and the ball just went foul past the first base bag. With that foul ball, Bull is in the hole already. No balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball down the third base line towards the Storm batting cages. Keeps the at-bat alive for the Untouchables. Another foul ball. This one screamed right past Storm dugout. We now have a nice little battle going on with no balls, 2 strikes on the DH from Paderborn. Perez stepping off the rubber to reset. Giving the reset sign to his battery mate. And it's a chopper fielded by Tashara at short. Fires over. Safe as the call is made. Infield umpire claims Glimmerud was off the bag. Kind of hard to believe that he said that, considering that Glimmerud had his foot on the bag the entire time when he made the catch. Fans here at Dickman Field letting the umpire hear it. That was definitely not the right call made. Sorry. With runners at the corners and 1 out, catcher for the Untouchables of Paderborn, Jan Mika Shischerhorn, stepping into the right-handed batter's box. Check swing did not hold up, says the infield umpire on the first base side. Home plate umpire asked for clarification. Strike 1. But the next pitch is slapped down the left field line all the way to the corner. 1 run is in. And 2 runs are in. It is a 2-run double for Shischerhorn. Makes the lead 3-0 here in the top of the second inning. With that 2 RBI double brings up number 33, Bjorn Reinhardt, the left fielder. Perez's pitch just outside, no, just above the zone, sorry, just above the zone for called ball. Checking the runner at second. Ball fouled, back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at second base, and 3 runs are already in. On deck is the top of the order for the Untouchables, Emilio Goetz. In the dirt, ball 2. As the sun has come out from behind the clouds, I'll tell you it is a very warm 32 degrees Celsius, 89 degrees Fahrenheit here, start of our game. Swing and a long but caught fly ball by Diego Mendoza in left center field. Keeps the runner from advancing. 2 outs. And with 2 outs brings up the top of the batting order, as I said, number 17, Emilio Goetz, stepping into the left-handed batter's box. Perez with a long look in, a quick check at the runner at second. Home plate umpire says check swing, does not hold up. Strike 1. Pitch outside. Yeah, just outside. Trying to get him to swing at that, and Perez wasn't successful in getting the swing. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at second. It's a high fly ball, but playable in left field. And Yoakum with the catch for out number 3. And that's the end of the top of the second inning. Unfortunately, Untouchables have put up a crooked number here in the visitors' half of the second. We go into the middle of the second inning. Storm down 3-0. As we go into the home half of the second inning, Storm down 3-0. Justin Olish stepping into the left-handed batter's box. It'll be Olish, Douglas Yoakum, and Tobias Glimmerud, the 1-2-3 for Storm. First pitch of Olish is in there for a called strike. I do hope you are all enjoying the first day of summer. Pitch outside, ball one. It's interesting how 1 or 2 degrees Celsius makes the day seem a little bit cooler, but up here in the press box, it's still quite warm since we don't have an air conditioner. It'd be too loud. Pitch. Oh, catches that outside. The late movement from the Paderborn pitcher, Digialmo. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Olerud. Olish. John Olerud hadn't played in quite a while. Doesn't play for Storm either. Justin Olish with a foul tip. I was just saying that was a bit warm in the press box here, so maybe my brain is being fried already. And Olish is called out looking on a ball that was Zischerholm had set up on the outside, actually set up in the right-handed batter's box, and with a very obvious late frame, home plate umpire calls strikeout looking for out number 1. That brings up the bat our designated hitter this afternoon, number 22, Douglas Yoakum. Yoakum, first pitch swinging, sends a sky-high ball that is just out of play. A long strike 1. As everyone resets after that long foul ball, I'd like to take another opportunity to thank you all for tuning in live on Storm TV. If you'd be so kind, please like and subscribe. It only helps us here in the DBL. Swing and a miss. Yoakum in the hole already. No balls, 2 strikes. Connects with that one, and it is down the third base line, over the third baseman's glove, past the left fielder. Yoakum is going for 3, and he is safe. 1 out triple by the designated hitter, Douglas Yoakum. Thought about shutting down at second and realized where that ball was and just had to step on the gas again. Feet first slide, sitting down on the bag before the ball got there. As he strips off all the armor, it'll bring up number 18, our first baseman, Tobias Glimmerud. Toby batting with a 1 out, runner in scoring position. First pitch in there. Nice pitch. Called strike 1 looking. On deck is Phil Meyer. And that is an RBI single to left for Glimmerud. Toby Glimmerud able to bring home Yoakum from third. Cuts into that early lead. It's now 3-1. With the sounds of the King playing here at the stadium, it can only mean one thing. Phil Myers coming up to bat. 1 out, runner at first. On deck is Oliver Yoakum. First pitch taking, called strike one. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was falling low, dropping out of zone. No balls, 2 strikes. That's a swing strikeout for Phil Meyer as the pitch was just outside of his reach. Now with 2 outs, runner at first brings up our left fielder, Oliver Yoakum. First pitch does not catch zone, ball 1. Early action here in the DBL. Munchen early game, start at 12, swing and a miss at a ball that was low and outside, 1-1 count. The Disciples are going into the top of the 9th inning, down 7-4 against the Indians of Goddington. Also another early game in Bonn. Bonn's leading the Steelers 6-2 going into the top of the 7th inning. The other 2 o'clock start in Cologne right now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Cologne Cardinals are leading 8-0 against the Dortmund Wanderers. Two count now on Oliver Yoakum. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Girolamo looking in, has his sign. Position runner has set up right down the middle. Low and inside, ball 3. Full count for Yoakum. Yoakum gets on base. We go back to the top of the lineup in the form of Diego Mendoza. It is a foul tip held by the catcher to end the inning. Storm does bring a runner home, cutting into that 3-0 lead. Going into the top of the 3rd inning, Untouchables 3, Storm 1. Going into the top of the third inning, Storm down 3-1. It'll be Izui, Bergman, and Byers, the 1-2-3 for the Untouchables in this visitors' half of the third inning. I want to let everyone know the chat is live. If you do feel like saying something to us, please keep it clean. But we do welcome and take all questions. Try to answer them as we can. More fans here at Dickman Field. Great to see. Fans are trying to find every bit of shade they can, and I don't blame them. The sun is out. And as we start the third inning, it is bright and sunny. But that pitch doesn't catch zone. First pitch to Izui is a called ball. But pitch on the inside is in zone, called strike one. The 1-1 pitch does not go where Danny Martins was wanting it. Went high instead of going low. 2 balls, 1 strike now the count. But then the next pitch is shot directly up the middle, knocking Perez off the mound as it almost took it in. Well, he had to fall out of the way of that one as it was going to take his foot off had it connected. It was a rocket shot up the middle. Leadoff single for the Untouchables to start the third inning. And while Izui is giving his first base coach everything he's wearing except his helmet, it'll bring up to bat number 13, Finn Bergman. Perez with a long look in. Izui is still putting his sliding mitt on. And the pitch gets away from Danny Martins. And so Izui is able to run quickly to second base. Not exactly what Perez and Martins wanted to do to start this inning, I'm sure. A rocket shot up the middle and then a ball in the dirt that gets past the catcher to move the runner over. Next pitch is swung on and hit into left center. Runner from second will run around easily on an RBI single from Finn Bergman. Now 4-1 as Paderborn is able to get back that run they gave up in the previous half inning. Now with Finn Bergman at first, brings up the bat number 31, Christian Byers. Perez did not like the ball that he was about to throw. Has a new one. Everyone now resets as I see member of the Storm bench has got the ball that was tossed over by a home plate umpire. Pitch in there for a called strike on the inside. Those of you tuning in may not know, where here in the DBL it's a little bit different than in Major League Baseball, where a ball might have 1 or 2 pitches before it's tossed out of play. Ooh, Perez and Martins wanting the call but did not get it. 1 ball, 1 strike count now on Byers. Here in the DBL, ball is used until it's not game usable. So in other words, after maybe a hit or two, big swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perez ahead of the batter now. The balls we use in the DBL is the same quality that Major League Baseball uses. Just we don't have a virtually limitless supply as they do in the U.S. Next pitch, sky, deep and high. And just out of the reach of Yoakum. It is a 2-run home run for Byers. Just out of reach of Yoakum at the wall. That's now a 6-1 lead for the Untouchables. After that 2-run home run by Byers, it'll be the right fielder for the Untouchables, Luca Rommelman, coming up to bat. Nine inside, ball one. On that home run, it just looked like Perez's pitch hung up there just a bit too much. And Byers took advantage of that, hit it into the heat, which allowed the ball to carry a bit more. High ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike count. Still no one out here in the top of the third inning. On deck is Moser. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2-2 count now on Rommelman. No go. Home plate umpire asks for assistance. First base umpire says nope. The batter did not go around. It is now a full count on Rommelman. The 3-2 skied, but playable, stays in the park for Olich. Oh no, Olich. Routine catch. Unfortunately, it looked like it hit right off the heel of his glove. Got to the warning track and just looked like the ball just hit off the heel of the glove and shot to the ground, but didn't go too far. So it is a double for Rommelman. Brings up the bat Moser. And with that double, brings out the pitching coach in the form of Javier Montero. Calm Perez down. Little break in the action here. Tried to calm the pitcher down after giving up some long fly balls. With this break in the action, I'll go through the DBL scoreboard. It's bottom of the 7th in Bond. Bond leading the Steelers 6-5 now. Bases loaded for the Capitals. Top of the 9th inning in Münchenhaar. The Gauting Indians are leading 9-4. And in Cologne, it is bottom of the 3rd inning. Cardinals leading 8-0. Perez looking at his finger after spiking a ball in the dirt that gets away from Danny Martins. Runner is able to advance to third base. The 1-0 pitch is in there for called strike one. Runner not going. Dancing a bit off of third, but the pitch is outside for ball two. Swing and a miss, strike two. Two balls, two strikes, no outs. Runners at third base for Moser. On deck is Benito Bull. Nice looking strikeout for the first out of the inning. Danny Martin set up perfectly outside. Pitch came across diagonally across the plate, and Moser just looks at it, walks back to the bench. First out of the inning has been recorded. Up now is Benito Bull, the designated hitter. Martin set up in the same place. Unfortunately, the ball goes right between him, the batter, and the home plate umpire, and the runner is able to skip home easily from third base, increasing the lead to 7-1. And that is a one-out single for Bull. Ball lands in shallow center field on that single. So with a runner at first base, one out here in the top of the third inning, comes up the catcher, number 4, Jan-Mika Zischerhorn. Perez with a long look in. Glance over his shoulder at the runner at first. And Zischerhorn just lofts a ball down the left field line all the way to the wall. It is a double for Zischerhorn. First pitch swinging, very aggressive play here from the Paderborn, the Untouchables of Paderborn. One out. Runners in scoring position. Brings up Reinhardt. Again, first pitch swinging, but fouled to the net. Ball low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at second and third for Reinhardt. Oh, ball gets away from Perez. Hit batter, loads the bases, brings up the top of the order, and goats as Reinhardt takes his base. Take a look at the DBL Nord standings. Currently, it is the Bonn Capitals in first place with 16 wins and 3 losses, followed by these Untouchables of Paderborn, who are sitting at 12-7 on the season. Perez doesn't get the call on a ball that was a bit outside. Third place right now, 12-7 as well, is the Hamburg Steelers. Steelers are playing Bonn at the moment. Perez's next pitch catches the zone, low call. Still a called strike. Fourth place is the Cologne Cardinals, sitting at 11-8 on the season. Your Hünstetten STORM are in fifth place. Goats with a high fly ball. Playable, caught in center field. Runner at third is able to run home quickly on the throw. Other runners do not advance. Increases the lead on that sac fly. It's now 7-1, Untouchables. Unlike in German soccer, the number of runs you score doesn't matter in the final results. What does matter is the win or losses. That is normal baseball rules. Now with 2 outs, runners at first and second, the shortstop, number 40, Shoro Azui. Thought about swinging, but didn't. I called strike 1 over the heart of the plate. There is some action in the Storm bullpen. Can't tell who that is down there. Perez sitting at 59 pitches. Make that 60 pitches now. A ball that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rounding out the DBL Nord standings is the Dortmund Wanderers in 6th place. Next weekend is wild card action. High fly ball, but popped behind the press box here and into the golden wheat field. That's just over my right shoulder. And I see a young Storm fan running out there to go find it. No, Perez does not get the call on that inside pitch. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Very long look in. And it is a high pop-up on the infield, playable. And Phil Meyer makes the catch at second to end the inning. Third out recorded, but a large crooked number put up on the board by the Untouchables. Sends us to the middle of the 3rd inning. Untouchables 8, Storm 1. We're going into the home half of the third inning. Storm down 7-1 as the Untouchables kept putting balls into play in the visitors' half of the third inning. Some updated scores here in the DBL. In Bonn, top of the eighth inning, Bonn is leading 8-6 against the Hamburg Steelers. Going into the bottom of the third inning, it'll be Mendoza, McKenzie, and Teixeira against the Untouchables. Yoshiramo's first pitch is in there for a ball, as Mendoza did show bunt, but pulled his bat back in time. But that next pitch, nice pitch in there for a called strike. Storm wearing their white on white today, as the Untouchables are wearing the green on gray. It is a bunt foul by Mendoza. Good idea to bunt. Unfortunately, instead of bunting down, he bunted up. It is unfortunate, but that's just how things go sometimes. Mendoza is back now in the left-handed batter's box. It is a 1-ball, 2-strike count to start the bottom of the third inning. Gives it a ride. Unfortunately, it floats up there and is caught by the center fielder for out number 1. Brings up the bat now the third baseman for the Hünstetten Storm, number 2, Jake McKenzie. Yoshiramo is back in his normal position on the third base side of the rubber. Has his pitch, swings it in there, just gets under the elbow guard of McKenzie. I actually expected that. I expected that ball to hit him. It just went under. Two balls, no strikes now for McKenzie. See if he has the green light to swing on the 2-0 pitch. He does. Gets wood on the ball and just a half step too short. Almost beats out that throw from the shortstop, but end result is out number 2. With 2 outs, brings up Augustine Teixeira. While Teixeira waits for the pitch, which quickly fired in there, but low, ball 1. I want to welcome everyone joining us live on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Chat is open for questions and comments. Low, ball 2. On deck is Danny Martins. Two pitch is in there. Nice. Looked like a sweeping fastball. Good pitch. Called strike. There is action in the Untouchables bullpen at this point. Oh, that looked like a good pitch. Not in zone, according to home plate umpire, so it is 3 balls, 1 strike. DeGiamo is back in his normal position. 3-1. It is low and inside. It is a 2-out walk issued to Tishar. Brings up the bat the catcher, Daniel Martins. Martins stepping into the right-handed batter's box after taking off his shin guards. First pitch in there, called strike. Late movement. Puts it over the zone. Swing and a foul over the Untouchables dugout and into the Golden Wheat Fields. See a couple of young fans thinking about going to get it, but I see a large fan going barefoot into the wheat fields, hunting after that foul ball. And a weak check swing. Unfortunately, Danny was trying to hold up, but couldn't on a ball that was in the left-handed batter's box, and that is how the inning ends, on a swinging strikeout. We'll go into the top of the 4th inning, Storm down 7-1. As we go into the top of the 4th inning, Paderborn leading 8-1. Brian Perez still on the mound. He's at 63 pitches on the afternoon. He'll face Bergman, Byers, and Rommelman, the 1-2-3 for the Untouchables. Still quite a warm afternoon here in Hünstetten. Looks like it's Florian Seidel warming up in the Untouchables bullpen. Bergman slaps a ball foul down third base line for strike one. That foul ball has been retrieved. Play is resumed. Next pitch is fouled into the wheat fields, even further into the wheat fields. It'll be probably found by the farmer who harvests that wheat later on, as I'm not sure if a kid will want to run that far after a foul ball. The 1-2 pitch from Perez outside, ball two. Thank you and welcome those tuning in on YouTube. Quiet chat this afternoon. Two-two pitch is a called strike three on the inside. Great pitch by Perez. Absolutely froze Bergman. That'll bring up number 31, the second baseman, Christian Byers. I do see some clouds over in the northwest, which will be third base side and deep. Great pitch in there for called strike one. There was thunderstorms in the forecast because of how hot it is here in our region. Hopefully that stays away until the game is long over. Ooh, just too far outside of zone for home plate umpire to call that one. 1 ball, 2 strike count now on Byers. Sorry, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Chopper foul. Makes it 2 strikes. On deck, looks to be a pinch hitter in the form of Kieran Norgan. Norgan. And that is a 1-out single for Byers as it goes into shallow right field. And we do have a pinch hitter. It'll be Kieran Norgren coming in for Rommelman. The left-hander is waiting. First pitch doesn't catch zone. Ball one. No word if this is a planned switch or if Rommelman is injured. I'm not sure. If we get any information, I'll let you know. Ball is fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at first. On deck is Jules Moser. Perez long looking and checking the runner at first. Is 1-1. Skips in front of Daniel Martin's glove. Gets past him just enough for the runner at first to advance. Makes it a 2-ball, 1-strike count now with a runner at second base. There was action in the Storm bullpen earlier. Nothing going on at the moment. Foul tip. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner at second for Norgren. Full count now. Danny Martin's popped up to throw behind the runner, but Byers was able to get back to second base without a throw. Martin set up low. Pitch, catches zone. Nice pitch by Brian Perez. Another strikeout looking. Now with 2 outs, runner at second base. Brings up the first baseman, number 16, Jules Moser. We do have a final in the DBL. It is the Gauting Indians winning 9-6 over the Münchenhar Disciples. Currently 13-0, bottom of the fourth inning. Bottom of the fourth inning in Cologne as the Cardinals are still playing, still batting in the bottom of the fourth inning. Quickly is 1 ball, 1 strike on Moser. Besides our game, the other action is in Bonn, where Bonn is still leading 8-6 against the Hamburg Steelers. Chopper foul down the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second base. Foul ball has been retrieved. Play is resumed. Danny Martin set up on the outside once again. And that is a strikeout for out number 3. Pitch was exactly where Danny Martin's wanted it. All 3 outs recorded on strikeouts for Brian Perez. Takes us to the bottom of the fourth inning. Still a lot of game remaining. Storm down 7. Going into the home half of the fourth inning, Storm down 7. It'll be Justin Olish, Douglas Yoakum, and Tobias Glimmerud. We had a pitching change as Lauren Seidel is now on the mound. The big left-hander, first pitch is fired in there for a ball. Starting pitcher Marco DeLiamo is done for the afternoon. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike against Olish. Foul tip, strike 2. Olish trying to make a late swing adjustment. Unfortunately, just able to foul the ball as a big lefty is playing away with all 3 of his pitches so far. And that is in there for a called strike 3 on the inside. Olish not happy with that sequence as he walks back to the Storm dugout. With 1 away, brings up the designated hitter for this afternoon in the form of Douglas Yoakum. Yoakum is 1 for 1 with the only run Hünstetten has in the game so far. First pitch swinging, and it is a grounder to third. And it is in there in time. Quickly, 2 up, 2 down. Now with 2 outs, brings up our first baseman, number 18, Tobias Glimmerud. Update from Bonn. It is the Bonn Capitals leading in the bottom of the 8th inning, 10-6. In Cologne, bottom of the 4th inning, Cardinals are leading 14-0. Bases loaded for the Cardinals with 2 outs. Glimmerud with a long hit into right field. Gets away from the right fielder. It is going to be a 2-out stand-up triple for Glimmerud. It is a stand-up triple as Glimmerud able to send the ball to deep right field. Right fielder was not able to make the play cleanly. Gift for Storm, puts a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And up to bat now is Phil Meyer. Let's see if Storm can capitalize on the 2-out triple. First pitch is in there for a called strike. Ball is a little too low and inside. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Meyer gets on base. It will be Oliver Yoakum who's on deck. Phil Meyer getting the start at second base today, as there are our normal second baseman, Daniel Martins, getting catching duty. Oh. Grumbling coming from the fans here at Dickman Field as that pitch was called a strike. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes on Meyer. And because of that borderline call, Meyer swinging at the next pitch, unfortunately, is a strikeout swinging to end the inning. Storm strand the runner at third. Sends us to the top of the 5th. Storm down 8-1. Going into the visitors' half of the 5th inning, there'll be a pitching change for the Hünstetten STORM. Coming in from DH to the mound will be Douglas Yoakum. Yoakum, who has been used as a relief pitcher here already this season, getting the call to come in for relief of Brian Perez. Perez pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, 2 unearned. The first batter Yoakum will face is Benito Bull. First pitch swing, but fouled back to the backstop for strike 1. Foul ball has been retrieved. Yoakum with the high leg kick. Kicks, fires. Oh, just off the glove of Agustin Teixeira. It would have been a very difficult play for him to make, but he still attempted it. Teixeira leaped and the ball just went off the top of the glove for a leadoff single. Next up is Jan-Mika Zischerhorn. And on deck is Reinhard. Time called. Now the batter is in the box. Play is resumed. Low, ball 1. Foul to the backstop. First time we saw Douglas Yoakum pitching in relief was, I believe, 2 weeks ago as he came in against the Cardinals. Doesn't get the high inside call that time. 2 balls, 1 strike now. When he came in against the Cardinals in relief, ball gets past the catcher, sends the base runner to second. That was the first time I'd seen Yoakum pitching, actually, I believe, in almost 2 seasons. Last time I saw him pitch was the 2024 season. I don't think he actually, I think he caught all the games in the 2025 season. And only because of a slight hamstring injury. Oh, fans not happy with the fact that ball 4 wasn't called strike 2, as that was, looked like it caught zone to me. Now with 2 on, no outs, brings up Reinhard. Reinhard sends a pitch down third base line. Oliver Yoakum fields, fires it back in. Runner is in. It is an RBI single. Makes it 9-1 to Untouchables. One out, 2 on. Goes back to the top of the lineup for the Untouchables, with left-hander Emilio Goetz stepping into the box. First pitch swinging, sends a high, deep ball, but playable. Caught for out number 2. Runners had to tag. Only the runner at second tagged and ran. So now with runners at the corners and 2 outs, shortstop Shotaro Zui coming into the batter's box. First pitch swinging, and Zooey sends a ball into shallow center field. It's an RBI single for Zooey. It's now 10-1. Still with only one out, two on. Brings up Finn Bergman. Another first pitch swinging. That ball is coming back here. Just hits beside the press box. Goes into the wheat field. Swinging at the second pitch. Playable and caught. Runner out at second. Very nice 8-5-4 double play ends the inning. Crooked number put up as we go into the middle of the fifth inning. Storm down but not out. Bottom of the fifth inning about to get underway. It'll be Oliver Yoakum, followed by Diego Mendoza and Jake McKenzie. 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch of Yoakum, low, ball one. Update in Bonn. Top of the eighth inning, Bonn Capitals leading 12-6 against the Hamburg Steelers. Swing and a miss and a ball that was a little bit to the outside. 1-1 count now on Yoakum. In a final, the Göttingen Indians defeat Munchenhard Disciples 9-6. Also a final in Cologne. Cardinals defeat the Dortmund Wanderers 15-0. Yoakum fouling a pitch down the third base side, keeping his at-bat alive. 1 ball, 2 strike count now to lead the home half of the fifth inning. Another foul ball. This one goes out into the wheat field. And actually quite nice seeing the color of the wheat field. I'm sure next weekend it'll probably not be there, harvested. It's a swinging strikeout to start the home half of the 5th inning. With 1 out, brings up top of our order in the form of Diego Mendoza. Our left-handed center fielder started that odd number double play. Well, it really wasn't an odd number, it was just an odd double play. Center, short, second. Right now he's sitting at 2 balls, no strikes. On deck is Jake McKenzie. 3-0 as the ball on the inside doesn't catch zone. And that is a 4-pitch, 1-out walk issued to Diego Mendoza. Mendoza taking off his body armor as he now trots down to first base. Jake McKenzie stepping into the right-handed batter's box. On deck is Agustin Teixeira. First pitch, McKenzie hacked back to the backstop. Teixeira has scampered over to collect the foul ball. Next pitch, hit to second. Flipped, fired, double play ends the inning. A little bit close there at first, but double play ends the home half of the 5th inning. Leads us to the top of the 6th. Storm down 10-1. Going into the visitors' half of the 6th inning, Storm down 10-1 to the Untouchables of Paderborn. It will be Byers, Norgren, and Moser, the 1-2-3 for the Untouchables here in the top of the 6th inning. Douglas Jochum still on the mound. High leg kick. Ball is high. Ball 1. Want to welcome all you tuning in live here on Storm TV. Weather here in Hünstetten is not as bright as it was. Joachim not getting any of the zone, apparently. It's 3 balls, no strikes. But a high pop-up behind the press box is strike number 1. Clouds are getting thicker coming in from the northwest, which is to your third base side as you're looking at our feed. Foul back directly to the screen. Makes it strike 2. This is the, I believe, thunderstorm that has been predicted for later this afternoon. That is a rocket shot up the middle for a leadoff single to start the 6th inning. After that leadoff single, brings up number 10, Kieran Norgren. Norgren came in the 4th inning, replacing Rommelman. First pitch swinging as a high pop foul ball. Just out of play. Just out of play over the net. Danny Martins with the old school catcher's helmet and mask. Doesn't go for the hockey style mask. Had to collect it and put his mask back on. Norgren popping it foul behind home plate again. He's quickly in the hole, 0-2. And that is a strikeout for the first out of the inning. Great pitch by Joachim. Exactly where Danny Martins wanted it. 1 out, 1 on. Brings up Jules Moser. Left-handed Moser stepping into the batter's box to face Joachim. Shows bunt, but pulls his bat back, and the pitch is low for ball 1. Doesn't swing at the next pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. But he swings at that pitch. Good pitch by Joachim. 2 balls, 1 strike count now on Moser. Ooh, doesn't catch zone. Groaning from the fans here. It's 3 balls, 1 strike. And that is a ball that gets a little too inside. Doesn't hit the batter, but it is ball 4. Puts runners at first and second base for Benito Bull. Live update from Bonn. Top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. Capitals leading 12-6 against the Steelers. Steelers have a base runner. That is the only other active game right now in the DBL. Home plate umpire zone is changed a bit. A pitch was called a strike earlier. And as it usually goes, Next pitch after a questionable call is usually hit, and this one was hit into shallow center, brings the runner at second home, increases the lead to 11. 11-1 now, Untouchables. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Brings up Scissorhorn. Thank you for the update in the chat. Yes, Paderborn winning would secure Steelers' hopes now. Ball gets away. Moves the runners over 90 feet. Increases the lead for the Untouchables. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Foul tip is what home plate umpire says. And a chopper fielded by the shortstop fires over, but wide. Infield single brings in the runner from third. One out still, runner at first base. Brings up Reinhardt. Foul tip at home. Danny Martin's just sitting there. Don't know if the foul tip caught him or anything, but the home plate umpire decided to walk the fresh ball to Yoakum, so I'm guessing that Danny did catch a bit of that foul. It sounded up here in the box that it hit more than one thing. So heard the hit and then heard it hit something else. So it probably hit the shin guard, which you still feel that even if you are wearing the protection. Pitch outside. Oh, took something off that. Reinhardt was expecting a fastball. That one was just a tad slower. Swung early. Strike two. I want to welcome all of you who are tuning in on Storm TV. Not called a strike. Danny Martin's tried framing that one. Looked like he did a good job of it, but home plate umpire said no. Low outside. Ball three. Yes, thank you, Baseball Mom, for posting that. Foul ball keeps the at-bat going. Schedules will be released after the end of the game today and later this evening. So we'll have an update for that, but it won't change much for Hünstetten as we will most likely be playing Dortmund next weekend. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. Makes it 2 outs in the inning. Going back to the top of the order with 2 outs. Goat swings at the first pitch he sees, and it rockets right past the first base umpire, who has to jump out of the way. Next weekend will be a split city series against Dortmund, as Hünstetten will host Dortmund in Game 1. Dortmund will host Hünstetten in Game 2. Times will be determined. If there's any changes to that, we will post that on our social media accounts along with the DBL making these posts. High pop-up playable. Caught by Glimmerud to end the inning. So another crooked number put on the board for Paderborn. We go now into the we're going into the middle of the 6th inning. Storm down 13-1. Going into the home half of the 6th inning, Storm down 13-1 against the Untouchables of Paderborn. Pitching change for the Untouchables. Octavio Medina brings in the tall right-hander, number 7, Stefan Dembowski. Dembowski will see Augustin Teixeira, Daniel Martins, and Justin Olish. That's the 1, 2, 3 for the home half of the 6th inning. No lead is actually safe. And so even though the Untouchables are leading now by 12 runs, things can change at any moment with baseball. First pitch to Sarah is called strike. Swing and a miss at a ball that was low in the zone, strike 2. Zishorn set up on the outside. Ball is in the dirt. You can always tell when it's summer playing baseball, especially when you're playing out in the countryside as we do. Insects can be a little bit of a problem. As I see the pitcher Dembowski swatting flies away from his face, but it's just how it's just nature since we don't play in a dome stadium. Foul ball makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tashara. We can just ask Phil Meyer what it means to play outdoors with insects, as he was bitten twice on his left hand yet during yesterday's ball game. Wasn't the reason why he was pinch hit for. Foul ball just makes it over the screen and into the wheat fields. If I had the ability, I'd show a replay of a game played in the U.S. about 15 years ago as the Yankees played in Cleveland, and Tashara lines it to his counterpart, Izui, for out number 1. First out recorded brings up Danny Martins. Yankees playing in a playoff game in Cleveland. This is notoriously known as the Jabba Chamberlain game, or the Midge game. In Cleveland, they have flies, much like the mayfly is here in Germany. First pitch in there for a called strike. Jabba Chamberlain was rookie that year. He was being sprayed with insect repellent. Unfortunately, no one told the Yankees that these bugs, these flying nuisances, actually enjoyed and were attracted to the insect repellent. And a chopper up the middle, a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Danny Martins. With that 1-out single brings up Justin Olish. Well, we have a pinch hitter for Olish in the form of Jonas Sonnenschein. Olish 0 for 2 on the afternoon. First pitch, Sonnenschein in there for a called strike. Storm manager Bill Dickman decided to bring in the rookie. Quickly, he's in the hole, 0-2. On deck is Douglas Yoakum. Sonnenschein gives a high fly, but it is a pop out center field for out number 2. Next batter coming up, as I said, is Douglas Yoakum. Yoakum starting the game off as designated hitter, brought in to pitch. He'll keep hitting for himself. 2 outs, runner at first. Yoakum able to get on base. It will be Glimmerud. Swinging strike 1 to start his at bat. I do see the sun peeking out from behind the clouds over on the hills to the far left, far third base side. So far, the shadow stays on the field, keeping things cooler for all the players. Yoakum is quickly in the hole, 0-2. And that is a strikeout to end the inning. 6 innings in the books. We go into the top of the 7th, Storm down 13-1. Douglas Yoakum getting his warm-up tosses in to start the visitors' half of the 7th inning. It'll be Azui, Bergman, and Byers for the Untouchables. Welcome all of you who are tuning in on live Storm TV here on YouTube. I want to welcome you in for those of you who were watching the other action in the DBL. Currently, the Untouchables of Paderborn leading 13-1 as we go into the top of the 7th inning. Yoakum's first pitch of the inning, just out of zone, ball 1. Again, just out of zone, ball 2. For a very warm Sunday afternoon here, as the next pitch is lined, not lined, as a fly in shallow center for a leadoff single. Quite a few fans here at Dickman Field. Happy to see them all here in the last regular season home game. Unless something changes, we will be back live next Saturday as Storm will host Dortmund for the opening of the wild card weekend. Game 1 here in Hünstetten. On Sunday, Game 2 will be in Dortmund. Low for ball 1. Yoakum's next pitch, a little bit high and inside, ball 2. Not sure if it was able to be caught on my microphone, but a roll of thunder actually just made an appearance. Finally gets the top of the zone call. Yoakum has great movement on his pitches, and that might be actually being a little bit negative for him at the moment. High pop fly, just out of the reach of Tobias Glimmerud. 1 ball, 2 strike count now on Bergman. That thunderclap actually didn't really get much attention until the pitch was thrown, and then home plate umpire turned around to see what was going on. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for out number 1. First out of the 7th inning has been recorded. Brings up the bat number 31, Christian Byers. Not chasing on that pitch, low in the zone. Connects on the next pitch. High pop fly. Caught by Mendoza in center field for out number 2. Shotaro just now gets back to base. He sat there looking like he was going to run, then slowly walked backwards. Now with 2 out, runner at first brings up Norgren. First pitch swinging sends a ball deep down the first base line for a long strike 1. One of the benefits of being up here in farm country in Hünstetten, great pitch on the outside, called strike 2. Down our foul lines, we have lots of land, and so it's fun to watch these long fly balls or long foul balls. Swing and a foul tip held on by Danny Martins to end the inning. Yoakum now with 5 strikeouts in his relief appearance sends us to the 7th inning stretch. Stand up, everybody, if you can. It's stretch time here in Hünstetten. Going into the bottom of the 7th inning, Storm have a lot of room they need to make up. They're down 13-1, but they're not out. Occasionally more thunder in the area, but there's no rain or lightning as has been seen. Tobias Glimmerud leading us off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Glimmerud, Meyer, and Oliver Yoakum. First pitch to Toby is a called ball. Outside ball 2. Ball 3 as it skipped up in the dirt. Phil Meyer is on deck, and it appears to be Philip Weimer. Storm rookie is in the hole. .30 pitch is in there for a called strike. Actually, it was a good pitch by Dembowski. Just here's a fastball down the middle, and Glimmerud did not have the green light to swing. But next pitch is 2 inside for a leadoff walk. With that leadoff walk, brings up Phil Meyer. Meyer taking that walk to the right-handed batter's box. Ready and waiting. First pitch. Swinging a ball that was low and outside. Ball strike 1. Would have been ball 1. But Phil was first pitch swinging all the way. And that is a single from Meyer. Goes to the left fielder. Life still in the Storm lineup. 2 on, no out. Brings up pinch hitter Philip Weimer. The left-handed rookie wearing number 11 on his back. Getting an opportunity here as a left-handed option off the bench for skipper Bill Dickman. On deck is Diego Mendoza. First pitch a little too low, almost gets away from the catcher. Zishorn was able to keep the ball from going between his legs. Next pitch directly over the zone, strike 1 to Weimer. Ball 2. Check the runner at second. Swinging a pitch on the inside. Now 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ball low in the zone. That is a strikeout for out number 1. Now coming at the bat, our center fielder, Diego Mendoza. On deck is Jake McKenzie. First pitch swinging, fielded by the shortstop, flips, fires, double play recorded. That is highly unfortunate, but that is the ball game. Double play ends the ball game. Run rule in effect. Final from Hünstetten. The Untouchables of Paderborn 13, Hünstetten Storm 1. Join us again next weekend for Wild Card Weekend as the Hünstetten Storm host the Dortmund Wanderers for the opener of the Wild Card Weekend. Game 1 here in Hünstetten, Game 2 in Dortmund. That is the end of regular season play for Hünstetten. Once again, final Untouchables 13, Storm 1. I've been your voice for the Hünstetten Storm, James Passo. I look forward to seeing you joining us again next weekend for the wild card. So have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.